Today, Friday of the 5th week of Lent, we come to the church Santo Stefano al Monte Celio. The peaceful churchyard provides a welcome respite from the busy streets outside as we approach the church of St. Stephen. As the shape of the basilica materializes through the pines, we will likely be struck by its unusual shape, for St. Stephen's is one of 3 ancient round churches remaining in Rome, although time has obscured the original ground plan. The design of this church is thought to have been inspired by the shrine built by the Emperor Constantine over the tomb of Christ in Jerusalem, and circular plans were often used for the shrines built over the tombs of martyrs, particularly in the Eastern Roman Empire. This church, built on the site of a Roman military camp, dates from the pontificate of Pope Simplicius I, who reigned from 468 to 483, being further decorated early in the following century. Although there is no tomb here, the design would call that connotation to mind for the people of the time, appropriate for a church placed under the patronage of St. Stephen, the first Christian martyr, whose supreme witness is recorded in the 7th chapter of the Acts of the Apostles. This original church consisted of a circular sanctuary with a concentric aisle, with 4 projecting chapels connected by walls, forming the outermost ring. Restored in the 8th century, by 1130 this church was near collapse. In the restorations which took place at this time, most of the outer ring was abandoned, save for 1 chapel and a small part of the aisle next to it. The central arch, which cuts through the inner ring, meant to strengthen the upper walls, was built at this time. Pope Nicholas V had to carry out another round of restorations in the mid-15th century. In the late 16th century, Pope Gregory XIII commissioned the images of martyrdom that adorn the outer wall of the ambulatory, the best-known artwork in this church. As this church had previously been given to the German college, they were meant to help encourage the young seminarians as they prepared to return to their homeland and possibly death. Pope Gregory also constructed the present chancel. And in recent years, the church had undergone a great deal of conservation, which has preserved the church for yet another age. And so some points of interest include the main altar. The circular design of the church seeks to commemorate the martyrdom of St. Stephen. The magnificent church-shaped tabernacle that once stood on this main altar can be seen to the right as one enters the church. We also see the martyrdom frescoes, once again commissioned by Pope Gregory XIII in the late 16th century, to encourage the German seminarians who lived nearby to be ready to give their lives for good news of Christ. And finally, there's a 7 Sorrows fresco, a powerful reminder of the participation of Our Lady of Sorrows, both in the passion of her Son and the continued suffering and persecution of his mystical body on earth.